So today's episode, I'm going to take my time and go through 5 specific tools that I really enjoy using. And if you're starting your own practice, I highly recommend these, especially if you're a tax pro and you're going to be doing any kind of tax services. So without any delay, let's get right into that. Number 1 is TaxDome. So I use TaxDome. It's the practice management system that I use. The number 1 reason why I use TaxDome and why I won't leave is because my clients love it. It's not about all the great features that it is for us firm owners, and it is. They are constantly adding new features, new ways that you could do business. I mean, they are very in tune with, if there's a feature that you want, they'll work on it. But the reason why I really love using TaxDome is because I saw the reaction from my clients. When clients are told, hey, don't go to the app store, or here's a link, it'll take you to the app, download the app, and I'm going to send you an invite so you can get into your account. Now, a lot of times, I don't know about you guys, but some of my clients, like, they're just, they don't do what they have to do. They don't log in. They don't upload the documents when you need it, right? We have all been there. But as easy as the process can be, you want it to be. So with TaxDome, they have great ways to invite your clients. You can customize who has access to which profile, who has access to which account, which folder. I mean, it's amazing. From the team side and from the client side and from the firm owner side, it checks all the boxes. So tax clients, I need them to get into TaxDome immediately because I need them to do one of those KBA signatures and upload their last tax return. And I have built out a workflow that as soon as I get the customer's name and email address, all that stuff can happen. All those requests can happen. The invite can be created, the account with the template, folders, all that could be created with one click and with automation. Now, you do have to coach the clients on, hey, I just sent you the invite. Did you get it? Can you activate your account? Can you go ahead and sign that form? Can you go ahead and upload the document? And TaxDome's app for iPhone, and Android, I guess, but for iPhone for sure, it's very easy to just download, get into your account, upload folders, upload documents, snap pictures. Your clients are going to be able to do it. And that goes for your young and your old clients. They're going to be able to download an app, sign up, give you a signature, and upload a document. I even take it a step further and I make sure that while I'm on the call with new clients that I send them a chat message in TaxDome to just say like, hey, it's Brian. Did you get this message? And then I just tell the client, just go in that chat and just hit reply. So now I've been able to, let's say you have your first client conversation and you're using TaxDome. Can you get them to sign an 8821 in TaxDome? Yes or no? Can you get them to, first, can you get them to activate their account? Second, can you get them to sign an 8821? It's like literally just, we need you to sign, click a button, put your signature, you're finished. Can your client do that? Because if you can't do that as a new client, I honestly second thinking whether you should be a client or not. So all my clients are in TaxDome. Then I need to see, can you communicate through the appropriate channel? All my existing clients, the way I run my practice, I don't use a calendar. I don't use Calendly. So clients don't just go on there and see what see what days and what slots I have open. I don't run my business that way. That's just me. When clients need to get with me, they could send me a chat message, and based on who they are is based on what kind of response they get. I'll just leave it at that. If you're a VIP client, you probably have my cell phone number, so you could text me. And I'm just using TaxDome to share links and share documents with you. If you're one of the clients that are TaxDome only and you don't have my number, then you're in TaxDome. You could send me a message, hey, I have a quick question. I'll jump on a call with you and see what that question is. Or if you send me more detail, hey, I need to get my, I'm buying a house and the lender said they need my year-to-date P&L. I could respond and say, hey, let them know that their books are up to date through certain date, and here's the report. So it's like you use TaxDome. I use TaxDome as a way to communicate with clients. I use it as a way to shield myself from other clients that I don't want to talk to. I use it as a way to give personnel on my team access to certain folders. Like let's say I need them to have access to the bookkeeping records, but not the tax records. So TaxDome lets you go into every folder and be very granular with how you control all the settings. And it's not going to be set up in one day, but if you're looking for a practice management system that is evolving as the profession is evolving, that is not some big private equity company, it's actually built by some really great guys that are at the ground level that built it bootstrap and grew it to what it is today, and still keep an ear to what's going on with the pros that they work with. Now, if you're a small firm like me, under 10 folks, you should look into TaxDome. If you are a bigger firm, then, maybe some of this content might not even apply to you, but then you want to start looking into some of the other options. But the number one reason, just to sum up why I love using TaxDome and why I highlighted it as my number one, item in my tech stack video here, and there's going to be 5. So number one, TaxDome, an app that your customers can use. My customers use TaxDome. They get the alerts, they get the notifications. It's easy to use. So old or young, tech savvy or not tech savvy, pretty much anyone that I work with can download an app, get into TaxDome. Some of them get on the browser, take care of those tasks they need to take care of. I also think of TaxDome as my welcome and goodbye platform. So what do I mean by that? When we sign you up as a new client, we welcome you through TaxDome. Like I said, I send you that little chat, say, hey, welcome, did you get this message? And here's the process, here's the outline, here's the jobs we have, here's the status of all of them. But it's also the platform that when I'm firing a client or, when we're done and we're disengaging and I'm letting them know, I'm also letting them know that this is the date that your files are coming off of TaxDome. So you won't be able to communicate with me. You won't be able to get your files. We have our storage of your files is going to be on TaxDome through certain date. And it's the welcome and goodbye platform. So we welcome you in. This is where we're going to put your files. And then when we don't have you as a client anymore, or we're firing you, or we're getting rid of it, or we're, going in different directions, here's the date that you get your TaxDome shut off. And it's a great way to let them know that, hey, here's, it's not a free storage for you, even though you can have like unlimited clients and, files, there's no file storage limits. I like to use it for that reason. Hey, you're going to be off the client list, and that means your files are available for download in TaxDome with one click. And another tip for using TaxDome is if you sign up for their, I have their biggest package, whatever, the pro business plan, get client care, because whenever you are getting rid of a client, I could do a whole thing about firing clients. I've fired more clients than probably, a lot of people. So when you're firing a client, and it's not a good situation where you want to just keep contacting and being in contact with them. Once you've decided that we're not going to move forward being your solution, being your accountant anymore, you want to be able to hit them with an automatic, here's the termination letter. And if you need one, I could get you a good template for one if you don't have one through your insurance provider. But a great termination letter that goes out as soon as you decide that the relationship is over is going to set the tone for how this client communicates with you and the firm going forward. I've had situations where it would be like, hey, can you send me this? Can you do this? Can you do that? And it's like, no, we're done. And I want to get that termination letter out quick. So a really cool thing that I've done in the past couple of years is whenever I set up a new TaxDome account, there's automatically a termination letter built in there. And all I have to do is press a button, spend a few minutes putting in the details that are highlighted, and boom, you got a termination letter in 5 minutes. So and a part of that termination letter says, hey, your files will be hosted on TaxDome up until this date. If you need help getting files off of TaxDome, or if you forgot your password, or you're having trouble logging in, don't call me, don't call my assistant. Call TaxDome. They have client care just for this purpose of support, because clients will try to bug you once you fire them. Oh, I forgot my password. Can you reset it? Oh, I'm trying to log into TaxDome. It's not working. Can you just do it a different way? No, you can call TaxDome client care. So that's a quick tip for you. It's the welcome and goodbye platform. Your clients are going to feel welcome when you send them in and send them the invite, and it gives you control over how you say goodbye to your clients. So number one, TaxDome, we took a while on that one. Take a quick break and we'll come right back. I built 10Key because I wanted something that I just couldn't find anywhere else. As accountants, we carry years of knowledge in our minds, but sometimes what's crystal clear to us isn't so clear to our clients. And that's why I built 10Key. It's the advisory platform built by an accountant for accountants. It's designed for instant advisory. It helps you perform live calculations, create easy to understand visuals, and it brings clarity to complex situations. Because the best advisors don't just over explain the numbers, they show them, and they use that to help people make more confident decisions. So if you're ready to level up from compliance to advisory, check out 10Key, named after the 10Key calculator. So if you have TaxDome already set up and that's going to be your client profile, your client portal, there's one thing that I'm going to recommend that if you're going to look into starting your own practice is look into the subscription model. Look into having your clients pay you on a monthly basis. Now, there's all kind of questions that come up from that, and those are good questions. Save them, put them in the chat, put them in the comments, bring them to our next group mastermind. But subscription pricing is the way that you unlock all kind of growth within your firm, and it's a way that you could give your clients a way to not have to always have to come up with a big payment every once a year when it's tax season. And I just want you to look into first the subscription model and Ron Baker's book Time's Up if you haven't checked that out. But Anchor for proposals is the best platform for proposals that I've seen. I've tried a few. I've looked into a couple. I've even used TaxDome a lot for it. Now, TaxDome has the proposals feature, and it does let you pass along the processing fee for the credit card fees, but I really love using Anchor for proposals, especially when I'm looking to sign people up for subscription. And that's where my ongoing clients are. It gives them the 3-tier pricing. It lets me customize the feature. It's very mobile friendly, computer browser friendly. When they get the email, it's all set up really nice, looks very professional, and it does something that I really love, which it takes out the 3.5% payment processing fee completely out of the conversation, because I'm an accountant. I don't want to even talk about that with people. Like, if you want to pay with a credit card, I'm not taking a 3.5% cut to my profits. I already have software expense, labor, tech stack. I got learning and development. I got to go to conferences. I got to do all this other stuff. I'm not going to eat 3.5%. I used to do it, and I do understand there are certain situations for making things easy and smooth. Yeah, like you want to get paid really quick, send them a payment link through Stripe, and you get you pay the 3.5%, but it gets you paid. Like 97% is better than 0%. I get that. But for my ongoing clients that I want to become clients and I want to be able to do monthly services, ongoing accounting, ongoing advisory, we'll do your tax returns once a year. Like those type of clients on subscription, I love using Anchor proposals for them because it details everything out so nice. You set up your products and they'll actually help you set it up, and they'll help you get into their system, move all your clients over. It's really great. When it comes time, I do mine in fourth quarter. I do it toward the year end. When I'm doing year end planning, I'm also planning for our fees and how we're going to bill the client. And there's a lot of times where we're having increased conversations with clients. This is what you've had. This is the new stuff that I have available. This is what I recommend for you. It's as simple as you just saying yes on this link. And that's what I really love about Anchor is it's great for subscriptions, it's great for renewal conversations, and it's great for just putting the information in front of your client. And like I said, passing the payment processing fee. When your client approves the proposal, they move on to the next step. The last page on Anchor, it gives them two options. Enter your credit card number here. You're going to be subject to a payment processing fee added to the balance, or slide over here and go ahead and connect your bank account. And they even have it where you could do this with your client. You could do it on the accountant end. But without getting into the ins and outs of working on Anchor, I just really like it for those three things. I love it for proposals and renewals. I love it for subscription payments. And I really love it for being able to pass along the fee without having that conversation. It's right in front of your client. Let them decide. Some people like paying for everything with their Amex, whatever. Some people feel like they're, bulletproof with, there's a fraud dispute if they use their Amex Amex for everything. They get points. Some people that just don't want to pay extra for anything, so they go ahead and just pay it out of their checking account. Whichever one that you're dealing with, that client mindset, you don't want to change your set. Like, they could literally just pick between those when they get to that step. Doesn't even have to be a conversation you have with them. And you could always tell them your fees are 100% deductible. You could add videos in the process. It's really great, customizable. I really like it. And I really like the way that they do their pricing. So I'm not going to go into too much pricing on this video. It's more just the tools. You could always look them up and see, how many users you need for TaxDome, how much payments you're processing through Anchor. The next one I'm going to recommend, I really love IRS Solutions. So when I'm of course a tax accountant, so I'm doing IRS work. I'm calling the IRS for people. I've had clients, celebrities, musicians get audited, baseball players with the 100 states that they got to file returns for. So I understand that clarity when it comes to your transcripts and making sure that a letter doesn't ruin your relationship with the client. I mean, that is very key. And they have this feature called IRS Advance Notice that's very unique to IRS Solutions. So I urge you to look into it. It gives you the transcripts you need to do one-time work, puts it in a nice way, nice and clean. Of course, you could just go to the IRS website and get all that stuff. Yeah, that's one way of doing it. And then there's the way of doing it with IRS Solutions and adding that monitoring feature that they're just constantly monitoring your accounts, that you have authorization and sending you updates. Hey, this client just got a new transcript update. They just added a 1099 that, I've had that happen with a client. Oh, I didn't know that you had this IRA distribution. It popped up on your IRS Solution, just notified me, and I looked at your transcript. There's this, oh yeah, I took a distribution out of my retirement account. Like, that type of stuff is stuff that's just like so valuable, being able to get that, because now you're avoiding a letter that comes 2 years down the line that says, hey, we adjusted your account and, such and such. We noticed that you missed this IRA account. Now it's a question of, oh, I gave it. Didn't I give you that? Or why didn't you ask me for it? Instead of I'm coming to you and saying, hey, I found this. This is a concern, or this is something we need to include on your taxes. So that's just one of the features. One thing that I really like about IRS Solutions is it was built by an accountant who was doing resolution work, who was doing that kind of stuff, and built it in a way that I really love. There's a lot of one-click shortcuts within it that you get these nice reports that are very client experience friendly. If you listen to these episodes in the past, you know that I'm very focused on the client experience. The transcripts and all the features and all the cool accounting tools are, I'm looking at those as well, but I'm also looking at the client experience, because that's where you get paid. I mean, if you can have a really cool experience, your clients will pay you. And I think IRS Solutions is one of those that's just built behind the client experience. And as a practitioner, it's like really, really cool. I mean, you could get so many transcripts in just one button. Whereas if you have to call the IRS, or if you have to go on the website and request, I mean, it's very glitchy. Anybody will tell you that. IRS Solutions, worth spending on. Advance notice and tax account monitoring is something that's really cool when you're selling it to clients. It's a great way to let them feel at ease that it's like, hey, credit monitoring, where you get alerts on your credit anytime there's something new, so you can take care of it and take action right away. We offer a service that's advanced notice monitoring for your IRS account. So if there's an upcoming audit, or if there's a letter that it's on its way, I could let you know that ahead of time, so that when the letter comes, it's not a big, punch in the gut like a lot of people end up feeling. So that's number 3. Number 4 is one that not many know about. I haven't really promoted it myself. I haven't spoken with them or anything like that, but I really love using G-Accon for Google Sheets to QuickBooks Online integration. So I have tried other reporting tools for sure in the past, and I still use Spotlight reporting in certain situations. There's some very nice ways that you could get information into Spotlight reporting and have these really nice dashboards and, P&Ls and cash movement summary. I really love them for that. And I have some very specific use cases and clients that I use Spotlight reporting for. But for the scale of my business, for the majority of clients that I'm doing, when I throw them into my custom designed G-Accon Google Sheet, I mean, I've got everything in there: balance sheets, cash flow, P&L by year, by month, by week, however you want it. I mean, there's dashboards that show year to date. There's dashboards that show the last 13 months. Like, I sat down with the dashboard designer, somebody that I could always recommend to you if you're looking into it. And we built out the template for how I want, if it's a product client and they have cost of goods, I want it on this template. And if it's a service-based organization, no cost of goods, I want it on this, which is a majority of my clients. So I love it because when I do, I get a new client, we sign them up for QuickBooks, we get them loaded in, we get years of data in there, or if we just get them, the new business started, I don't present them QuickBooks Online access and here's how you go to the reports and here's a job for you to do as a client. Clients don't like that. Clients that I like working with don't want to be in QuickBooks learning how to be an accountant, how to navigate, because then it changes too, and then it's like all this different. I want to be able to share one link. Here's the link to all of your numbers, and when you want to have a conversation with me, I'm going to pop this link up so that we could reference the numbers and we could do live decisions on the phone. So if you are thinking about, because we're connecting all these things, first, just to back up a little bit, why G-Accon? We're doing tax planning and we're doing tax advisory just so we can do tax preparation, right? How do we do any kind of good tax advisory if the books aren't up to date? If we're just using same as last year numbers, which I know a lot of firms do and a lot of advisors are doing that, that's not real advisory. You're just giving them numbers that don't have real cash. There's nothing real about those numbers. If I've had business owners I've met that made $1 million plus last year, and now this year it's looking like a break even. And I'd like to tell them that and look into the monthly numbers, look into the ebbs and flows of the cash basis reporting. And if we're going to add in elements like sales tax and accruing for sales tax, AP, and we're doing like a bill.com connection, or we're doing some kind of CRM so that their AR is, cash and accrual is easy to delineate between. Those are all things that are going to be connected in QuickBooks. So I'm going to connect your payroll, your sales tax, potentially your bill pay, your receivables, and what other way does your client want to see that information? Do they want to have to log into QuickBooks and navigate all through QuickBooks interface, or do you send them a link, they click the link, and you kind of walk them through where to go? Just like I said, if a client calls me out of the blue, hey, I've got a lender that's looking for my year-to-date P&L so I could get approved for this mortgage. I say, all right, well, I go to this part right here. I have there's a bunch of tabs on one Google sheet, but when you get there, here's your year-to-date. Do you want me to just export this, put it in, it's right there. So having that immediate access, I got before I had any reporting solution, I used to spend so much time in QuickBooks, printing reports, taking out the pennies, putting the disclaimer at the bottom, all this kind of, making sure that the margins look good so it didn't skip to a second page and a page break. Who wants to do all that kind of stuff? That's not why I became an accountant. And even though it's all it was all in support of presenting it easy to the client. You want to spoon feed it to them. Hey, here's your numbers. Let's click on it. And if you want to have a conversation about anything, there's usually a report and a dashboard that we could go to in there. So G-Accon, like I said, I really love doing that. Love using that with QuickBooks Online. And this gives you an option to, just another thing about QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks Online has that ledger feature, which is $10 a month. So if you get a client and they don't want to sign up for QuickBooks and do all that extra work themselves, they're just like, I want to hand it over to you. And you're like, well, I don't want to have to pay, I don't have to pay $30-40 a month and the client's not even logging in. Get a QuickBooks Ledger account. It's $10 a month, $120 a year, and connect them to your dashboard in G-Accon. Now you just send them a Google Sheet link and you could share it with just them. It's a Google Sheet link. So you could share, you could protect the settings and who gets access to it, but you could literally apply this to, I think, 25 clients for $150 a month or something like that if you want to get started on the monthly. And once you have those dashboards built out, you meet a new client, the power of what you could get them just by getting their books up to date. Not just their taxes are going to be done, but now we have insights that we can pull from these reports and do proper advisory for your business, for forecasting transactions, for tax advisory, which is what I use it for. So when I look at my mid-year numbers with clients, like in July, we're looking at year to date. How did you do January through June? What are you on pace? What's happening in third and fourth quarter? That's a conversation I'd like to have during our tax advisory meeting. And I'd like it to be based on these numbers that we have, January through June, monthly P&Ls, balance sheet by month, by quarter, by year. Like that's the type of stuff that you want to have at your fingertips, and G-Accon is the one that I really like for that feature. There's other tools out there, there's more expensive ones out there that I've tried. G-Accon is the one. If you're looking to not spend a lot of money and you're looking to actually get that connection, it's a QuickBooks it's a Google Sheets extension. So it does anything that I'm mentioning to you here. Like so far we've recapped. I'm going to give you number 5 next, but just to recap, TaxDome, go for TaxDome. That's the one I use. I've got some free templates in the marketplace, and they're evolving the product and making it better. They have webinars on YouTube if you want to see like the latest version of what they're doing. And it's literally from the co-founder and the CRO. Like they're great. So it's an app that customers can use. It's user friendly. It's the welcome and goodbye platform. So that's why I really love it. Anchor proposals. It's the best proposal software that I've used. If you're doing subscription payments, it's going to be great for that. It's going to be great for renewals, and it's great for avoiding the payment processing fee conversation. Do you want to pay that? Does the client want to pay it? No, like the client can pay that if they want to, or they could just connect their bank account. Don't even have to ask me about it. If they bring it up, just tell them like, yeah, that's the options. You could pick. You could pay 0, pay it out of your bank account, or add on the credit card fee. What are we even talking about, right? For IRS Solutions, I really love the transcript features, the advanced monitoring for ongoing support, and just the overall interface and the one-click reports that you could get out of there. It was built by an accountant. You could tell because he's put these little like shortcuts in there that are just, for us tax pros. G-Accon, if we're going to be doing advisory and we want to have live as close to detailed numbers as we can, I really love G-Accon. It's a connection to QuickBooks Online. So if you got all their bank statements, you got all their bank transactions reconciled, you got the payroll, categorized properly, and you linked it, with the automation through Gusto and QuickBooks is usually how we do it. And if you're adding in AR, AP, sales tax, any of those other things, you're going to want a way to present it that's very detailed, and you're going to want to be able to show some visuals. And I really like G-Accon for that. And I really love having the information all in one place where I could just copy it and then boom, I'm right in Gemini. I could start asking Gemini to build out some dashboards right with the data. So really love those 4. Number 5 is something you're going to have to pay for. It's BlueJ. Surprise. I really love using BlueJ. Anybody that's seen me before probably knows I recommend using BlueJ. BlueJ is the trusted tax logic behind almost everything that I'm doing. So believe it or not, even though BlueJ is a great tax research tool and you're thinking like, oh, this is good for like big research products and huge clients. No, BlueJ could replace whatever you're using for tax research. Like if you're doing something like you're preparing a tax return and you're deciding between 2 NAICS codes, is it this one or is it this one? Like you can sit there and start a chat with BlueJ and say, hey, this is the client situation. What different features distinguish it between this NAICS code versus this one? And you could get to the bottom of that. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've met clients that had their, business, the nature of their business, product or service, or their NAICS code wrong on their tax return. And it's just one of the things. I mean, you could have it walk you through filling out a form, going back in history and filling out, a 2024 schedule this or this form. Like it will help you line by line. It's just like your assistant. So it's an AI tax research assistant. I mean, who wouldn't like that? I personally use BlueJ, and I also use the stuff that I get from BlueJ. I'll drop it into Replit, ChatGPT, and build tax advisory tools, calculators based on that trusted tax research that I pulled from BlueJ. So I think there's so many different ways that you could use BlueJ in your tax practice that haven't even scratched the surface yet, but I really like it. And I like the feature where you can now sort things into projects, and now you can have your, because like me, I'm using BlueJ for certain clients. I like to have the threads going, and sometimes the client will come back to you a month later with an update, and you could just go right back and continue the chat and make sure that you're giving them, you don't have to start the conversation over from scratch like you would in a regular like large language model version of an AI tax research tool. So the reason why I'm doing all those things with BlueJ, Claude Code, you could use Replit, Claude Code, or Codex and create these different experiences for your clients with calculators that are kind of tools for you to do advisory. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to be able to help clients make decisions. What we are as accountants overall is, when we say that we're the advisor, the trusted advisor, it's because people are making big time decisions that are impacting like where they live, what kind of car they drive, what kind of legacy they leave behind for their family. These are big things. These are big topics, and they can't just think that you're just like so busy that you don't have time to get to know them, and you don't have time to like map things out visually for them so that it clicks and they get it. And you got to be that go-to. So trusted advisor to me means that you're using a great tech stack, but you're also using it with the client experience in mind. So everything that I've listed here so far is with software that I really love using, but not only do I love using it and building stuff with it, but the client experience is better because of how we use it. So I wanted to put those 5 out there because a lot of times I meet new small firm owners that are maybe just starting from scratch. Like you just scrap how last year went and you say, I want to go in a different direction. I want to move heavier into monthly recurring subscriptions, more into tax advisory, more into tax planning and that kind of thing. And those are all things that sometimes it could take you a whole year of trial and error using a tool and then realizing like I should be on something else, or, my clients would be served better on something else. So hopefully this saved you a little bit of time, saved you a year or two off of your trial and error. And if you're using something else, again, that's okay. Like I said, TaxDome is just the practice management that I like using, that I'm hooked on, and Anchor for proposals, IRS Solutions, G-Accon, and BlueJ. I could tell you the alternatives for each of those and some good competitors that I've actually met with, talked to. Some of them I've even demoed, but those are the ones I like using. What do you think about my tech stack? And what do you think about, and if you want, I could always talk offline about what I'm paying for, what team members I'm using, and what my recommendations are for, setting up certain features. But those are the 5 that I'm really enjoying using. I don't see it as an expense. I don't see it as this is expensive. I have one small client that basically covers all of this stuff here. So you don't have to break the bank to get all this stuff, but you can really scale a good business if you're using the right technology and you're delivering things with the client experience in mind. You're going to be able to go far. So anyhow, that does it for this episode. Hope you got some value out of it. Hit subscribe, share this with another accountant. Make sure you stay tuned in. We're going to keep dropping these episodes for you. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me. If you like this episode, you're probably going to like everything else we've got going on. Check out the links below. Give 10 Key a try, hit subscribe, and come back next week. We've got plenty more to talk about.